Okay, so we had a question. I personally have only ever been fully in the fifth on one occasion that lasted for about 30 seconds. It felt like I was walking in a dream where nothing was happening, or where nothing had ever happened. It was as though someone pressed the pause button on my movie, but scenes were still coming and going. Very odd. Definitely am not eligible to ascend yet, partially because my service in 3D, 4D is incomplete, partially because I'm still working through lots on a day-to-day basis. I'd like to ask you how you manage to balance this mystical life with the day-to-day life of being 3D physically, having to do laundry, work, watching a movie, or playing a game every now and then, etc. I found one of the major challenges of my awakening to be staying on top of my physical responsibilities and relating to other sleeping non-wanderer types, no offense to them. Never in my whole life have I physically met anyone who is like me, and the pain is real, bro. And I'd like to know how you've managed to cope so far, as I can see through your gray hair that you are older than myself. Okay. Well, I mean, that's the balance, right? First of all, that's once you wake up, and let's say to wake up we mean to have a direct experience of your true self. Okay, now this may be there are levels to this. However, generally the effect will be the same, whether you experience your higher self, whether you have a direct experience of an angel and know in that this is also you, whether you experience other lives and you see from a higher soul perspective, or whether you see from your monadic or I am presence, or from the perspective of the all that is, or various God personalities that you may be connected with. In all those cases, or whether the experience is just to move into silence, to the point where one feels instead of thinks their own presence, where they viscerally feel the expansion of their awareness and realize its infinite nature. Okay? So these kind of awakening experiences lead one into a process of unwinding the distortions, the egoic patterns, because this begins a journey back to oneself. Once one recognizes their freedom, no longer will they accept bondage once they know there's an alternative. So especially when this experience of freedom is so much more powerful than the subjective experience of bondage or the day-to-day reality of being in the matrix or being asleep. So in this process of untangling and realigning perspectives, we untangle distortions and false patterns within us. We realign false perspectives back to a position of balance and understanding and harmony, and we begin to recognize ourself in all things. In recognizing ourself in all things, we begin to realize that we are the cause of all things, and therefore we see in our every action, that we are the creator of it, and that we can actually create freedom. From then on, we can, if we are the creator of all things in our reality, we can be the master of it. The recognition of this does not impart this as a reality, generally, instantaneously. Far from it. In my understanding, this process generally takes between... I've heard that there's a general number of 12 and 18 years. I'm not sure on the validity of that, but I know people, I've heard of people that have taken years, and there are others who will take 30, 40 years to unwind this, okay? To bring all these elements in your reality into balance. So the answer to your question about how I do this is not very well, honestly. And I understand your question completely. Like, if you know, once having experienced a reality where I don't have to do laundry, I literally don't. There is no dirt there. Understand? We haven't dreamed dirt. Unless you dream it dirty, then it will not be dirty. So yes, when doing laundry, I am aware that I don't have to do laundry, you know? However, it's a tricky balance, okay? If the reality you are presented with on a day-to-day basis is that there is dirty laundry piling up, at some point, now you may sit there and try to meditate that away. It will either work or not. See, but the thing is, it's only going to work if you're actually ready at that moment to enter the fifth and to have your reality be completely that. There are reasons that doesn't happen right away. Not only are we waiting to do it collectively, but we're trying to bring our physical body there. Spiritual ascension was different. We are trying to create a new reality. We are trying to bring our physical bodies into this place, into this vibration. This takes time to transform us, to allow us to step into this new reality. Especially together in a cohesive way. We're going to create a reality together, this new earth. We have to do it in a cohesive way, right? So understand that although you, like me and many others, probably want to be there right now and are tired of the third density and are tired of suffering and are tired of the nonsense, our higher self, if our higher selves were choosing this, that it be so, I believe it would be so already, right now, at this second. Whatever is happening needs to happen, okay? This is being divinely guided at this point. Each of us, the doors may be open, yes, right now, for you to physically ascend, depending on how much work you've been doing. We're getting that close. So, depending on who's listening to this, there are some who may be ready to go right now. And there are some who are very close. And there are others who are a year away, 2 years away. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because whatever you need to see, and it may not even be about you, understand. It may be that you need to stay in a vibration because you have agreed to help some other people. And in order to be helpful to them, because if you go all the way into the fifth right now, no, they won't be able to see you anymore. You'll have to make, not to say you couldn't make a special appearance for them, but I actually don't know all the limitations and what, about that, because when people do ascend, when we hear about people like Master Joshua or, Jesus, Kuthumi, any of the ascended masters, or famous gurus like Paramahansa Yogananda, any of these people, Nityananda, we commonly hear about them upon ascension appearing to maybe all their disciples or groups of disciples and handing wealth or curing diseases, whatever. They do all sorts of things. Sai Baba is supposedly raising the dead right now and healing any who come, So, lost my train of thought now. I was just saying, okay, you need, because things need to be done according to free will, so you can't just, It cannot always be that the angels can just appear before people and help them in that way, because they may need to be helped, but they also may need to decide. See? So they may need someone who has the ability to appear like them, but also hold the higher vibration. There's a reason for everything. And we're moving in right now into periods of such rapid transformation that it's really hard to get your bearings. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm having it easy. I don't know where I am. Like I'm taking it moment by moment, day by day, and I'm trying to both not get pulled into anything that feels stressful. Like if it's a third density situation, or if it looks like a third density situation, just because it looks similar to the third density world does not mean it's not a higher fourth density or fifth density situation that you may be creating. You know, and maybe you're not all the way there, but it depends how it feels. Okay, so that's what we gotta stay with, is how does this situation feel? How does this experience feel? How does this person feel? You know, how does this choice feel? And navigate one step closer, basically, is how I'm seeing it. Every day is a little bit closer. And some days, because the direction I have to go has a bunch of obstacles left there by me, it's not a comfortable thing, you know. So be it. It's worth it, obviously, or we wouldn't be doing it. Although what you're describing to me doesn't actually sound like the fifth dimension. It sounds like you were maybe in the sixth or the seventh. Because when I was in the fifth dimension, it still looked like Earth, just super high definition, super bright colors and vibrant, and plus there's a way it feels. You can feel. Okay, it feels. This is one thing I want to describe to you. Let me just describe this one experience to you, okay? And in response to you asking me about how do I balance these things. One time, crossing through Samadhi, I'm just going to tell you, I was, this was on DMT, okay? This was with, I don't know, a moderate dose of DMT, but I went into Samadhi after that in meditation. There was a Sanskrit song playing, that, man, I went really far, really fast, and I was basically floating in a sea of energy, okay? Pure light, pure energy, and it was ripping me to pieces. It was too strong. At first it was amazing, beautiful, but then it was like I couldn't breathe. It was too much. There was no end to it. There was no way out. I was trapped. It was ripping me apart. It was killing me. It was destroying my personality. It was destroying everything I was. And then I asked myself in desperation, how can it be? How can it be? How can we be destroyed? Because I already knew myself to be God. I already know that we are source. I already know there's only God and nothing else, and we are an expression of that, and that's it. How can we be destroyed by our own creations? And right then I said, we cannot. Like, and I just like went, like I held my arms out, and I could feel the whole universe in my arms. The whole room suddenly just lit up in this most beautiful display of light. And although there was no door that actually appeared, I knew there was a door there. I knew there was a door there, and I knew I could leave. I could leave right then. I was literally but what I'm trying to explain is I could feel the balance of this energy, that I was at the center of the whole universe right then. This is what I had done, was exactly what they call in the Law of One, opening up to intelligent infinity. Okay? I had touched my infinite nature physically there, brought it all into being, and I was now holding it all in balance. It felt like I was holding two oceans side by side, doing it, having no idea how I could do it. Like, I mean, it just felt insane, to be able to do it. And then some other stuff happened that I'm not going to go into, okay? But this is just to illustrate to you where you're going. So don't feel like there's anything wrong if you feel like you're trying to, like, it's hard to balance, because it is. It's hard. It takes mastery, but you will become a master. You are a master. You are there now. You have seen it. You have felt it. It is so. Love and light.